Hey guys, I'm Matt, the South Coast Kook. I'm just a kook that loves to chat about everything surfing. And today on the show, we've got Danny from SurfPaints. How you going, mate?
Good, Matty. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, buddy. I thought I'd ask you a little bit about your surfing history before we dive into sort of why I've got you on the show. But how long have you been surfing for, man?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Matt. Stoked to be on the show, and I think you're doing a really good thing with your podcast. I was listening to it when I was driving back from Lennox, and yeah, you asked some really good questions, so I'm stoked to be a part of it. Surfing, I grew up in Perth in WA, and I actually bodyboarded for most of my early days, which is quite cringe at the moment. Forgive the bodyboarders out there, but in Perth there was this big movement of bodyboarding was cool. You remember Tension
Yeah.
series and like Chris White and Winnie and Rawlington and all that. So yeah, I bodyboarded up until like year 12 at school, and then we did surfing at school, and we did a full term of it, and I got on the board. I was like, what have I been doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy with this, how many people that like a hardcore surf in the surfing community and they bodyboard to start off with, man. So don't feel like you're the only one, man. There's a lot.
It was like a cool thing to do when I grew up. Like on the East Coast, I'm not sure. I now live over here, but like in Perth, especially because it's really poor surf. Perth, it's kind of a closed out beachy for most of the time, so it kind of suits bodyboarding. And it took up surfing, and then I lifeguarded kind of a lot in really popular surf destinations, and that just got me surfing good waves pretty quick. And I'm now 30, so I've been kind of surfing for 12 years and just not looking back.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So what board do you ride?
At the moment, I'm riding the Channel Islands Happy 2. It's kind of my go-to. In the past, I used to just be Pizel because in WA, it's kind of heavier, raw waves. So Pizel is just really kind of suited West Australian kind of surf. But over here, I just thought I'd try something new. And then I've got like a Christensen fish for when it's really small. And then I've got the Ghost for when it's big. I might try some sharp eyes next. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got a sharp eye and I highly recommend it, man.
Yeah, sick. They're just going off at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going gangbusters down this way, man. So
sick.
Where's your favorite place to surf?
Oh, probably like Indonesia straight away. I think of Indo, just warm, really perfect waves. When I was living in Perth, you could shoot over there in 3.5 hours, 200 return flights. So it was just like heaven. And then I lived in Esperance in WA. I've got a place there, so that I'm not sure if you know where Esperance is in Western Australia. It's right down the bottom.
Oh, okay. I was literally going to say, is it up near the north? And so
my
geography is terrible, man.
But that place is pretty special, like crystal clear water, like really fun waves. Very sharky, shark capital of Australia, they reckon. But probably Indonesia or Esperance.
Yeah, nice, man. And is there like a best wave or session that really just like sticks in your mind that you can always like go back to?
Yeah, quite a few, fortunately. Yeah, I've got quite a few. That'll take up the whole podcast. But just always sessions with your mates, when you're like trading off barrels, and beaches are always a bit fun because you can go a little bit harder and it's a little bit more playful, and there's usually like you got your car on the beach, so people are like going back to the car in WA and like either having a beer or like sitting on the beach watching music, and then people are out surfing. That kind of stuff's cool. But I've had one in Indonesia which was just proper what you see on the movies kind of thing. So yeah, I'd say mainly sessions with your friends is always the best though.
Yeah, 100%, man. So before we talk about now why I've got you on the show, so you are the owner of SurfPaint pens. So what are they?
Yeah, SurfPaints are basically just products for painting surfboards. Our main products are the paint pens themselves, the acrylic water-based markers. But we also sell, the starter kits, so things that you need to paint a surfboard, because you can't just get a surfboard and start painting on it. You got to do a bit before it, like clean it up. So, we offer like little things like the wax comb or the paint scraper, and then sandpaper, and then steel wool, which cleans the board. Even things like a pencil to draw your design on, masking tape to tape it out. We offer a brush in these kits, so you can spread the paint pens out. So it's not just you have to be able to draw, you can actually spread it out. And then, we offer ebooks that teach you how to paint the surfboard. So it's basically everything to do with painting a surfboard.
So why did you start it? Like, why did you start it?
Yeah, I just painted a lot of my surfboards growing up, and I remember being in a place called Dunsborough, Western Australia, and my friend used to paint boards, and he'd come over and we'd paint one together, and we were going, to Bunnings, and then we were going to Office Works, and then we were going to surfboard shapers and surf stores, and we were just going everywhere to paint a surfboard, and it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, why are we, this surfboard shaper says, oh, you can use this brand, but this brand's all right. And the sprays they were using were for home hardware sprays and stuff like that, without any recognition of a surfboard. And then there was no instructions out there. There was some blogs online that you could research. And then, yeah, everyone had an opinion on different brands of paint products that work just as good as each other. And then I was like, maybe there's something here. And they weren't in surf stores, which I was like, shouldn't they be in surf stores? So yeah, it just kind of triggered something. And then I was a teacher down in Esperance, Western Australia, and I just always kind of had that and managed to build up a bit of capital and put the idea together and put it out. And luckily the Australian kind of public have grabbed it, and it's been good.
So you sort of saw that gap in the market. Hey, like you said, I've tried to paint surfboards before and failed, spending a couple of $100 on spray cans and bits and pieces, and it flakes off. And it's pretty frustrating. That's when I came across your product. I actually bought a set of pens a while ago before I even made contact with you. And I'm not artistic at all, far from it. But it was just really good because I had this black board with black rails, and I chipped the rail, did a repair job, and then color matched it with the pens, and it worked perfect. So
awesome. And it's funny you said I'm not an artist. That's the biggest thing with our brand, is trying to push the artist within. You don't have to be a good artist. I'm not. You can color your board in black rails, or you can color it in square boxes, just as long as the board is different to the standard stock is kind of what we go for. It's your own, it's different. It makes you feel proud that you've touched it up. And you don't have to be able to draw a really good Mickey Mouse or a Mandela or something like that. That is something we're pushing hard to get. Otherwise, there's so many people that are just not going to paint their boards because they're not artists, and they're too scared they're going to stuff it up or it's going to look silly. But yeah, there's so many other options you can do other than being a good drawer.
Yeah, 100%. Like you said, making it your own. If you just go down and get, Joe Blow's board from down the road here, just to make it really stand out, you can, like I said, do little bits and pieces here and there just to make it your own.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
So, can you paint a foamy?
You can paint the bottom of a foamy, the plastic slick. Yeah. You got you can't paint the top because it's a spongy surface. So if you put paint on a spongy surface and then you press down, it cracks the paint. There's no way to seal it. But on the bottom, the plastic's quite a firm surface. So it you can apply it to the plastic, but you still need to rough the surface up. Otherwise, if you go straight on slippery plastic, you run the risk of it coming off. So I've got an ebook that explains it, but you basically want to rough it up, and it can scratch the plastic slick. So if it's a board that you really don't want any scratches on, then it might not be for you. But if you're happy to scratch it up, what it does is it makes the surface rougher, and then the paint bonds and seeps in better, and then you apply acrylic clear spray over the top. And yeah, we've had some really good foamies come in, and it looks awesome. But yeah, you just got to make sure that you rough up the plastic, because it's quite slippery, the plastic, so you don't want the paint not bonding. But yeah, you can definitely.
I'm just picturing young Groms just going to town on the bottom and doing all these cool designs. Has there been a design that's come in to you guys and you just go, wow, that's so sick? Like,
definitely. Like, so I started an Instagram page, and I kind of knew this would maybe happen, but not as big as it would. Is like, the point is to share customers' images and board designs, so it inspires someone else, and it also recognizes them. And I've been surprised. A lot of people have just been sending it in, and I'm like, wow. And even some of the ones that are not like, your typical beautiful art are still awesome, like even just like a 12-year-old kid that's put a little bit of color, or like done a Homer Simpson or something, and it's a little bit wonky and whatever, that's cool. I like that style. But yeah, I've had, usually the tattoo artists and those kind of people, they are really good, and they'll, every now and again I'll get one sent in. I go, Jesus, I don't know how you just won that, and like I feel guilty. I'm like, I'm taking recognition for you using my product, but I'm not taking recognition for that art, because that is just ridiculous. But yeah, it's important to throw up really wow art on the Instagram, because it does get a lot more engagement. But sometimes I try to do a lot of amateur art, boom, a really good piece of art, amateur art. Because if I'm putting up really good art all the time, people like are going to go, that's cool, but I'm never going to draw on my board because that looks impossible. But if I'm putting up lots of art that, people like myself can do, it shows people, oh, that's actually not that hard, and that looks kind of cool, I can do that. So that's sticking to my audience, and making sure that people aren't intimidated, because the really good art is, I look at it and go, there's no way I could do that.
Yeah, 100%, man. And you offer, like, on your website too, you have stencils and stuff to help that sort of inspiration flow. So like if anyone's thinking of a design, you can literally buy the stencil and go for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've got stencils, and they're quite popular with the mums, like if they want to give their kids that, a bit intimidated. But to be honest, we've got some plans in the future to kind of steer away from the stencils, because you don't need a stencil, you just need an iPhone or a phone and a picture that you like, and just putting it up next to your board and just using a pencil and just having the best go you can on the pencil, and then rubbing it out and have another go. And then, yeah, you don't need a stencil these days. Stencils are a little bit, they're sick if you want to do, like a one wave logo or like something like that. That's cool for sure. But we're kind of steering away from the stencils coming up.
Yeah, okay. So besides surfboards, what else can you use these pens on?
Pretty much anything. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, is it's just a really high quality acrylic paint pen. So the reason it has to be high quality and a certain kind of richness for it to go on the fiberglass boards is, you'll know if you get a pen or a paint that's not very good quality on a board straight away. So that was our focus, is to make sure it's really top notch on fiberglass boards. But then, the beauty of it is acrylic paint works on, wood, ceramic, glass, plastic, canvas, everything. So like people are sending in, skateboards is very popular, probably our second popular, so wood. People painting their vans. Some guy sent in his like van painted with SurfPaints, and he was like, man, I use one packet only to do my van. It's this big like amazing mural kind of thing. And I'm like,
I was literally just about to say, man, that guy must have turned through some pens.
yeah, man. He was like, dude, these pens just keep going. And I was like, wow, like, yeah, they look like they just keep going. So that's awesome. And then like, you know, people doing jeans, so fabric. People do their shoes. Their Vans shoes are quite popular. People do like things like eskies and fridges and yeah, anything, laptops. Like they just work on anything really.
Because we're starting a one wave sort of community down this way. I did my wetsuit, did like a big sort of one wave South Coast Kook on my bum, like just going like, and they worked. And they're still on there after surfing, so that's sick.
Really, that's epic.
Yeah,
there you go, wetsuits. That's the new market.
There you go. I also noticed you've had some big hitters using your pens. Anyone that like you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, Italo, when he was world number one, he went into slime, or was it slimes or sandbar? One of the surf stores in Newcastle, and was like, yeah, apparently he asked for some surf paints because he wanted to paint his boards and his shoes. And yeah, the next thing you know it, I'm seeing him do it on his story. I think someone sent it to me. He's like, dude, Italo's using surf paints. And I'm like, what? Go on his story, and it's him just having a play around. I was like, wow, that's incredible. And then
and when we talk about like the artist side of things, he wasn't like he was literally just spraying it over the top and giving it like cool rainbow effect, and it looks sick.
Yeah, no, it was cool. He's pretty arty himself, so that was good. And then you know, Sally Fitzgibbons just randomly purchases surf paints and then painted all her boards fluoro. That looks sick. Jack Robinson, back in the day, I think I sent Jack some pens, and him and Julia painted like some cool boards. Flick Palmatier has been a very good ambassador kind of for surf paint. She's amazing. Mia McCarthy, like who else? Reef. Yeah, no, I've just been lucky. Like they either generally kind of stumble across it, or sometimes I send them pens if, you know, I'm in contact with them. But yeah, like it's awesome to have pros use your pens, because it obviously is cool to see, you know. But coming back to, I don't want it to be just about pros using surf paints. I'm kind of like, you don't need to know about the pros. You can still use surf paints. So yeah, I don't try to publicize it too much. I just kind of stick to my audience, which is, you know, everyday surfers, everyday artists. So yeah, I love having pros use it, but yeah, it's not going to be like kind of where I'm going, you know?
Yeah, it's not the selling point, but it is good to know that like these people have spotted your product and used it. But yeah, it's all for like the everyday who's buying boards off the rack that needs to, you know, make it their own.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's painted on your board?
I've had so many different designs, but at the moment it's really basic. I got it off Sally Fitzgibbons, just like blocks of pastel and fluoro colors. Yeah, so it's just like a kind of like purple, turquoise, light blue, fluoro orange, black, and a bit of yellow, I think. And it's just all on top of my board. And then I've got like a little, a key, like, you know, you turn the door with a key, just to kind of like, you know, the key is like, for me, like a reminder, like letting go, like something a little bit corny. Yeah. So when I see the key when I go surfing, it just reminds me of what the key is, to, you know, how I need to go about. So yeah, sometimes I put little symbols like that on my board. But yeah, I've had drawings like kangaroos. I've had like beer cans on there. I've had words. I've had just rails. I've had, but mainly I go for mixture of colors. I like colorful boards. That's kind of my thing. It just has to be a bit colorful.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah.
I noticed too that you've collaborated with a couple of different like organizations. Like I know that for a fact that One Wave, you're partnered up with them and sort of doing a bit of like donation work with them, and also Surfing Mums. I saw that you're an ambassador for those guys as well. Is there anyone else that I've sort of missed?
Yeah, Surfing Western Australia, they're pretty good. They're a big supporter of us. We've done stuff with Headspace, the mental health organisation. Chick Surf School in New South Wales, Smooth Star. We're doing a bit of stuff with Smooth Star at the moment. What else? Taj Burrow, he runs an event called Small Fries in Yellingup, and so we get behind him every year, which is really cool because it's just all these little grommies that go down the beach. So it's awesome to be part of that. Yeah, we've been fortunate. We get a few things that pop up, and we do. But yeah, One Wave's been a good one. Like, you know, we've been supporting with, I think, 5% profits from our fluoros online have been going to them. So if you jump on and buy anything fluoro, yeah, we give 5% profits to them, which helps them from their organisation, such as going into schools and yeah, just promoting mental health through bright colours and surfing therapy, which is awesome.
Sick.
Yep.
No, really cool. How many stock S do you reckon you have?
I think we've got like maybe nearly 100 in Australia. I've got a distributor in New Zealand now. He's pumped out a few. I think he'd be in 20 stores in New Zealand, and then just about to go. I mean, we've got a European distributor, nothing big. So Europe's had exposure of SurfPaints, but I think USA is kind of where we're going now. So it's building up to how the hell I'm going to implement that, because it costs a lot of money to do things like this. So it's really kind of having trust, and then like, staffing and yeah. So it's been a bit of a ball ache, to be honest, if I really be honest with you about business. Is like, you know, Australia's been going pretty good, but it's time to scale, and it just requires you pretty much going backwards a little bit in terms of like financials, and you think you're on top of it, you think you're going good, and then you kind of have to go back to like when you started being negative, and getting that trust back in, like it'll work out. But it's exciting, you know, like I'm all in. I have enough faith in the brand. I think there's been enough feedback from people saying this is a product needed. It actually brings a lot of joy, the product. It's not just a kind of make money, quick rich kind of scheme. I feel like it's actually really awesome to see people painting boards that never would have painted a board because of SurfPaints. You know, like there's people that know about other paint products, and their dads in the 70s taught them about, you know, use this spray, or
yeah
or like use these are fine, don't worry about that. But there's just so many people that have no idea that they could paint a board, and when they do, it's like, I just did it because it was fun and it was different. But now, like, you know, when you see other people do it, like they're really happy, and it's awesome. I'm really stoked to be on this journey, and I'm going all in.
Yeah. So this is your full-time gig now?
Full-time gig. Yeah. Sick. Full-time gig.
Did you think, like, when you first started it was going to be this big?
No. I knew, no.
Like, you were obviously hoping it was going to like grow and become what it is, but yeah.
You go through waves. Like, to be honest, I was a high school teacher, and it probably just wasn't for me, that job. And I did it for 3 years. And so that kind of gave me a bit of like more drive. I wanted to get out. So I kind of used, SurfPaints was just lucky that it came to me, but I always kind of liked business. And then now it's like, I'm on this kind of like, instead of going to university, you do business, or do like, I think they call it an MBA, is it? Master of Business something. And you just start a business and do it. And then so I'm learning everything. It's kind of good and bad. It's good because I'm learning about business by having one, which is really exciting but it's at the same time, it's like, yeah, you realize how much you don't know and how much you need. And you're like, if I had more experience, I wonder if I wouldn't have made that mistake or whatever. But yeah, it's still not, I'm still a small business. Like, I'm not killing it at all. But yeah, there's enough out there that I think you can kind of take opportunities of what on the e-commerce kind of side of things at the moment.
Yeah, sick. Well, like, I totally can relate. Like, I love doing this, like, with my little business, and I'm nowhere near as big as you, but I know what you're talking about anyway, man.
Yeah, mate, I think you're onto a good thing. It's cool listening to stories. You know, I listened to Essentials one you did, the surfboard industry, Ocean and Earth, like some big names, and it's just cool to hear the owners, like, and some of the things they said, I was like, oh yes, they had that problem and all that. And so yeah, I reckon you're onto a good thing, because it's you know, your podcasts are interesting.
Oh, cheers, man. Thanks for that.
That's all right, mate.
So what's planned for the future?
Future is, so I'm here in freshwater New South Wales. I never thought I'd live here, just from being from WA. So I kind of stumbled here due to, you know, another company that I've been working closely with here. And also, like, it's just a really good spot it's got good waves, just down the road, and it's got a good network around this area. So I'm kind of here, and I've given myself the goal to live here for minimum at the end of the year. But yeah, the future, just keep working on the business, keep scaling, keep growing, keep having fun along the way. Like, a lot of times I'm missing out on a few things because my head's too in the business. You know, I'm like working Saturdays, Sundays. I'm missing like surf missions with a few of the friends I've made over here, because I'm feeling guilty if I go on missions that, you know, I'm not working. And then when you work for yourself, you end up, you know, you absorb the cost of not working. So just trying to take a step back and enjoy what I'm doing, and have faith that it will work out, whether it's the success in the business or the people I meet along the way and life. So yeah, just taking a step back and enjoying the process is probably my priority at the moment. Yeah,
cool. Well, now's the time to plug the socials. So, like, first off, I want to say, like, you know, thank you. You're a sponsor of the South Coast Kook podcast, so everyone should jump on, and, you know, if you do decide to make a purchase, use Kook at the checkout. But yeah, so you've got your website, which is
that's awesome. So yeah, you guys, what is it, the discount code's Kook? Yeah,
Kook.
Yeah. So what our website, www.surfpaints.com.au. You can just put .com as well. We've got that for internationals. And yeah, our Instagram's kind of our main social media, which we've kind of branched off, but we're now starting to go pretty heavy on TikTok. So Instagram handles just @SurfPaints, and TikTok's also @SurfPaints. And yeah, if you want to reach out to me, it's just danny@surfpaints.com, or you can message me on social media. But yeah, looking for a few things. If you've got any cool ideas, or you're a surf store owner, or, you know, you want to be an ambassador for SurfPaints, you think you can create some cool content or do anything, just reach out to me, and I'd love to hear from you, and I'll get back to you because I'm pretty responsive on the emails.
Yeah, you are. You're really good, man. Like, straight away we were chatting and it was good. You got straight back to me. But like, everyone should definitely at least check out, you know, the Instagram, because some of those cool designs, it's definitely worth having a look, man, for sure. So I've got one last question for you, man. What does surfing mean to you?
I remember you asking this question to another person, and I yeah, but like that's a hard question. Surfing's pretty much crafted my life, I suppose. You know, like you choose holidays because of surfing. Like Indonesia, you always live by the coast because of surfing. You talk to surfers. So surfing is a part of my life, and I don't know any other way. I think it's going to be me forever, and it keeps me at peace, keeps me grounded. I like how it's not competitive, you know, like I like going for surf sometimes, or most of the time, to be honest, by myself, and knowing that I can just surf and not kind of compete against people. It's just yourself. And it's just surfing's the best sport in the world, you know.
100%. I haven't found anything better than it. So if someone does know something better than surfing, let me know. I'll be keen to take it on. But yeah, thank you so much for giving me some time. Everyone got some designs coming up, so I'm like in the middle of drawing some stuff. So check it out. I'll share it on my socials when I'm done. But yeah, thank you so much, and everyone should definitely have a look. And yeah, if you're keen to buy something, just use Kook at the checkout for a discount. And thank you for doing that as well.
Easy, mate. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Thank you. Cheers, man.
Yep.
That was good, brother. Really good.
Yeah, thanks for that. That was awesome. Good chat.
Yeah. So what's on for the rest of the